As the sun rose over Judea, the land glowed with warmth. Another day began for those who had little yet hoped for much. A mother stirred a small pot of grain, her children watching with hungry eyes. Their hearts carried more faith than their hands carried food. Along the dusty road, Jesus walked, his robe swaying in the morning wind. Behind him, his disciples followed, curious about where love would lead next. The villagers looked toward him, eyes filled with longing, hands trembling with need. They had heard the stories, the man who never turned away the poor. He stopped by a hungry child, knelt down, and smiled. In that moment, love itself bent low to meet a broken world. Jesus lifted a small basket of bread toward heaven. He whispered a prayer of thanks, and light surrounded his hands. When he opened the basket, the bread had multiplied. The people gasped. There was enough for all. Children laughed, mothers cried with joy, and men shared freely. In the act of giving, heaven touched the earth. Jesus walked on and saw an old man sitting alone. He placed his hand on his shoulder, and the man felt seen again. He helped the injured walk, lifted the weary, and smiled at the forgotten. His mercy flowed like a river without end. Under the shade of a great tree, he spoke to the crowd. "The greatest treasure," he said, "is a heart that loves." A woman wept beside him, and he wiped away her tears. Peace filled her soul like morning sunlight. He gave coins to a poor merchant not to make him rich, but to remind him he was not alone. Among beggars and broken homes, he walked not as a king, but as a brother, a friend, a servant of love. Children ran to him with open arms. He called them the purest in heaven. He lifted a little girl high above the crowd. Laughter filled the air. Love raised them all. He entered a poor fisherman's hut. The walls were broken, but the welcome was warm. He sat beside a widow, listening as she shared her pain. His silence spoke louder than words. A sick boy lay weak in his mother's arms. Jesus touched him, and life returned like a sunrise. The people saw his mercy, and their voices rose in praise. Faith filled the streets like music. As the day ended, Jesus stood upon a hill. He gazed at the setting sun, his face filled with peace. He turned to his followers and said softly, "Whatever you do for the least of these, you do for me." He gave water to the thirsty, comfort to the weary, and rest to the broken. Each act of kindness became a reflection of heaven. Under broken roofs and dark alleys, he brought comfort, not judgment. When night fell, he prayed beneath the stars. His voice blended with the wind, asking that all might know love. Soon others followed his way. They began to share, to heal, to lift one another. A woman gave her bread to another family. Children shared their toys and their laughter. Jesus watched from afar with joy in his eyes. His love had multiplied in their hearts. The village, once dark and forgotten, now glowed with light. Every home, every soul was touched by compassion. He continued his journey, seeking the broken and the lost. For him, every soul mattered. He taught by the fire under the stars, speaking of a love that never dies. He blessed the people, saying, "Peace be with you." The crowd knelt in gratitude. Their hearts were forever changed. Even in silence, his light continued to shine. Acts of love spread across generations. Today, his message still lives. Every act of kindness echoes his voice. The cross stands as the symbol of eternal compassion, and his light still shines. For the poor, for the broken, for all mankind.